Hey, it's prime. We're 3 balls in, then we 3 balls out. We all up on your screens like it's prime time's route. Mighty gets a score, and and PJ start to scout. Your rhymes really trash. What do you think he's damn fouls? TBI the show, so buckle down, sit back. And Jay we trust, cause he's the leader of the pack. It's prime, Jewball.
This is TBI 3 balls in. I am PJs alongside Logan and Davo. It's episode number 3. It's been a while, a little hiatus. We'll get into that shortly, but we are back and better than ever. It is season 2. So much to get into. So much stuff has gone on the last couple of weeks. We got some injuries. We had a draft we never talked about. We've got the league season starting this Sunday. We've got so much to dive into. Boys, welcome back. It's good to see you all. Some mouth stuffs around, and let's talk football.
Well, I think a lot of people had some hiatuses at the draft party, but let's get into it.
Logan, sense of reason here. What's up?
I'm happy to be back. I missed you boys.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm on paternity leave from everything. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But having twins is a different world and something that is crazy. But of course, not just me. Moused up to Steve-O, who had a baby boy. And it seems like we've got a lot of baby balls coming this season. And so we're looking forward. It's going to be the Jewball season of Simchas, Baruch Hashem. So we're definitely moving in the right direction. We lost Davo for a moment, but it's okay. Logan, let's jump into the draft. We didn't get, I was barely there, obviously. My wife was in labor and then not in labor. So, and then eventually did give birth a few days later. So here we are. We never actually did a post-draft show. What was the surprises for you for the draft? Or I guess, what shocked you the most in the draft?
I guess I knew that if we didn't have a snake draft, you'd have a good team, but I was kind of shocked how there's in my opinion, a great team. And I didn't see it coming that slant. I don't want to call out anyone individually, you know what I mean? Up or down, but I think in general, it became very clear why a first pick of every round doesn't make sense. But anyway, it'll be an interesting season.
But here's the thing. We spent a lot of time last season, and I personally went after Fight last season, the way he drafted. I actually want to take credit here. I gifted him at the Hanukkah party how to draft, a book about how to draft. And he surpassed that book because he had by far in the 3 seasons of Jewball, the greatest draft you can ever have. He's assembled possibly the greatest team to ever be assembled in Jewball. And that's not a knock on any other captain yet. And that's not a knock on anyone else in Jewball. It's just the fact you put the talent you have around him. Singer, Mighty, Jack, Munch, Jordan, Salem, Dobbs, Davo, Logan. I could keep going. It's probably someone I missed already. And the reality is that you could just Bosch. Just the names of the people who's on that team. He had the greatest draft, I think, in Jewball history.
I make the argument, if that team doesn't win at all, it's hard to argue to give Fight a team next year. Realistically, if you're not going to win with that team, and that puts a lot of pressure, but what team are you going to win with? I don't know.
It's funny. We spent a lot of time last year with the way Gronk drafted. It felt very much similar feelings of where Dave and I were sitting there and we're like, oh my God, Munch, Solo, Goldberg. It's like, and the names kept going off, Jordan, Steve-O. And you're just like, oh, these are guys who should have been drafted earlier. Here, I kind of felt the same way. Mighty again falls to the second round, which I think I had a few of my mocks that happening, but I didn't see, a guy like DK and Zinn for sure surpassing him. And that's, again, this is not knocks on anybody. This was just, I was surprised. And it's not, I don't know DK as a player. So I hadn't seen him play. So I hope the hype is real, because if he is, it's only better for Jewball if the rookies come in here and they're not really rookies. These are guys who play in other leagues. It's talent. So if the talent is real and they play as well and they do in other leagues in our league, it's only for the better.
True. Yeah. Agreed. Have we figured out Davo's problems, or is he still on and off?
I think this is just more fun. I think he's trying to just have fun with us here. I think he's still
Look, only Davo. This could only happen to Davo, right? Like he finally figured out like the microphone situation. He finally figured out the right pitch of his voice, and of course now we can't get the video straight.
I think he's just obviously upset about where he got drafted, and that for me is the surprise there. Storm and Davo were two players who I personally thought should have been drafted higher. Again, just my opinion. It doesn't mean that I know what I'm talking about. Just my opinion. Again, these are two players I happen to root for. I happen to like a lot, personally, on the field and off the field. But I think these are guys who should have been drafted sooner. I think there are a few guys who got overdrafted, and I'm not going to say who they are because there's no point of putting people down. Our goal here is to raise people up, so not to put people down unless they give us reason to put them down. I thought some of the captains, Prey and your own, made some interesting choices earlier in the draft, not first and second round, but more third, fourth, fifth round. I thought Dax, kind of did. Again, I think he had a few sleeper picks. I loved Waldo towards the end of the draft. I kind of didn't expect that in the seventh round. Really liked that pick. Waldo, he's not a consistent player where you're like, that's a guy you throw to every play, or that's a guy like Singer or Jack or Irv, or again, the names go on and Mighty, great players, great receivers. But Waldo can give you a game where he's unstoppable and catches everything, includes everything.
And he's tall.
So I think there's a lot of talent there. Dax taking legs in the fourth round, Prey taking cut in the fourth round, deciding to move off of legs and shifting to a different lineman. Cut again, second round pick, was the second overall pick last year. So Prey puts that with Solo. You're talking about two of the best linemen together, but again, and not choosing legs, and then Dax choosing legs, so they don't really have much of a relationship together. So the fact that Dax kind of scouted that, I guess, from the Night League or from something else, interesting draft choice there. I think, again, I don't think anyone did a bad job this year. I don't think there's anyone you knock. I just personally think that there were some picks that I kind of scratched my head a little bit when I kind of found out about it, or found out certain players were not drafted yet. There's a lot of talent who are sitting around who aren't sure when they're going to play or if they're going to play. And I actually think that's okay. I actually really do think that's okay. Again, if you were not in the first 8 rounds of the draft and you were in the latter part of the draft, which was not revealed how many rounds or who was in the rounds, it's okay if you're there. I'm there. I really think it's okay. You're there, Logan. It's okay. Again, it's not. Sometimes you have to put your ego in check and realize that your team may not have. You may be a great talent, but your team may not have taken you because you don't fit the need, or there's multiple players who fit the need that you provide. So personally, if I don't see the field at all this season, I have no problem with that. And I think the rule of having, we're going to have Jordan on shortly. I think having a rule that everybody has to play a league game, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And I'm going to take that up with Jordan. I don't know if I agree with that rule. I think you put out the best players possible. I think each team, again, it'd be nice to get everybody in, or maybe you make that person alternate for the game. Injuries happen. Look, Prey is out for possibly a good chunk of the season. That's a huge loss. So, again, you lose a captain and a starting quarterback. Injuries do happen. So having multiple players, and we saw that last year, Red Sunday is a great example. Jack gets knocked out of the game. Mighty had to leave early. PJ's had to be taken away in an ambulance. Things happen in a game. So you need more players as possible. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the more people who show up on Sunday, the better, even if you're not playing, just to root on your team, just to be part of it. Davo, it's good to have you back. Share with us a few things that kind of surprised you with the draft. Logan and I kind of got into a bunch of things, but anything that really shocked you or surprised you?
Not really. Obviously there are people who felt that they should be drafted higher, but again, you're only drafted where someone values to take you at whatever point. Like you said, they may not have a need for you. If I'm drafting, if I have a bunch of small fast guys, then I don't need to take another small fast guy. I might need a bigger guy, a taller receiver, a lineman, or whatever. There are definitely, I think we've spoken about people who we think have gotten drafted too high or we think have gotten drafted too low. But what I like to say about that is that, listen, if you feel like you were slighted and that you should have been drafted higher, then go out and prove to the person who drafted you that they made the right choice. Because who cares what the other captains say? Obviously, they can all kick rocks, but prove to your captain that you were good enough to be chosen and that you should be on the field every Sunday. And then they should have a reason not to be able to play you, But if you play so well, then that's it. That's all you have to do. You just have to be given a chance.
I agree with you 100%. Listen, I think at the end of the day, we all love Jewball. We all want to see Jewball succeed. You have to. It's like the vets versus rooks. There are certain guys who are starters and certain guys who are going to be backups. We try to get people in, but the reality is that you want to win a game. And so, if people are evaluating your talent and they're saying, we don't think you're first 7-round talent or first 8-round talent, that's not a knock on you, but prove it out there and go out there and show them you are that talent. Make plays, when you're afforded those plays. So I think this is a great time for us to bring in none other than our fearless leader, the one and only. He goes by many names: Kamish, Violent J, Jordan, you name it. This guy brings it. He's why we do what we do. He's the reason why. He's probably our biggest cheerleader for TBI. And there's not much we can say except for in Jay we trust, and we're not worthy. So while Jordan figures out his tech issues, because again, it's only 2022, we've only been using Zoom for 4 years now. We're gonna give Jordan a second to get himself started. But again, there's nothing more. Again, I guess this is a good time, since I don't think Jordan can hear or see us, to say thank you to Jordan. Organized the draft, puts everything together. I also probably don't say this enough, but I think a lot of the sponsorships we get for certain things, Jordan's behind. Either people reach out to him or he himself sponsors it. Probably something he may not even want people to know that, but I think that's something that should be known. There's nobody more dedicated to Jewball or to the Jewball community and family than Jordan. Organizes, the things we do to help out people, whether it's Tehillim, whether it's, a gift for someone having a baby. He's all behind it. He's got his hands in everything. And he also makes sure that we don't kill each other on the chat. So, for all that. So a lot of appreciation we have to have for Jordan. I'm not sure why he's having some tech issues. But, boys, while we're waiting, we got a league week this Sunday. And I'm super excited for it. One of the reasons why we wanted Jordan on was to kind of talk about it. And here he is, commissioner in the sukkah. I thought you were supposed to take that baby down.
I started.
Wow. All right. You're about a third of the way there.
Yeah. I like to do it in stages so it doesn't overwhelm me.
Well, Jordan, welcome back to TBI.
Great to be back.
You missed your intro, and I'm not going to say it over again, so you'll have to watch it in order to hear it. But here we are. It's Logan, Davo, and of course me, PJs. We are here, and let's start off with it. We kind of recapped the draft a little bit. Let's jump into the future, though. This week, the first league week, what are you seeing, or what are you hoping for the first week of the league week?
Leagues in particular, I mean, listen, leagues have a bit of a dark cloud over them this year, unlike last year and the year before, based on the exclusiveness of it, which we don't like to do. We like to be inclusive, and we're not doing that. I look forward more to next year's leagues when I'm very confident it will be fully inclusive. So this year's leagues, I mean, I hope it's great games, but not too great so that people feel left out.
Okay. Again, some clarification. I think that, every captain is doing their best to kind of communicate certain rules. Maybe let's just talk about in TBI. What are the league rules this year? Or specifically, if you're not a starter, what does that mean? Kind of go through it for the audience. So in case.
All right. So it changed a little bit. There was a post early on before league started, which basically said leagues are not Jewball. Jewball is not leagues. This year, there is a 15-week Jewball season, and then there is a 6-week league season. So don't confuse them. Don't put them together. Don't tell me one is not Jewball and the other one is not leagues. We admit that. And we was basically a setup because we knew that people weren't going to be able to get spots. So we framed it that way. And then after the draft, which I have, there were regrettable moments, and it sort of made you realize that, it's not who we want to be. And I talked about that as well. So now the rules are the alternates, which are 4 per team. Now each of them gets at least 1 start. So we tried to bring some inclusiveness back. So there is nobody that is completely excluded from leagues, even though it is possible to be excluded from 5 of the 6 games.
Okay. Now, everybody gets to play 1 game.
Everyone gets everyone on a roster gets at least 1 game. Now, if you're somebody like, I don't know, I'll give Snow as an example, who is on a team but won't be healthy this year, he can obviously, we're not going to hold your own to the rule, but the rule is if you're available and if you're healthy and if you're, around, you get to play at least 1 league game, and then of course all the other Jewball games of the season.
Okay. So there you hear it. In case you're wondering, in case you're not sure. And again, this is up to the captain's discretion about which game you play, correct?
Yeah. So they have to, like I was telling my team today, I said, we have games against Yaron and Prey. Those are line intensive games. Those are the games where we'd use alternates like Bosch and Bert. And then we have games like the Roll Tide game, which is more of a speeder oriented game. And that's where we'd use guys like Davo and Logan. Now,
Are you saying that only me and Logan can go up against open legs? You saying me and Logan are great against open legs?
Yeah. Oh my God. I cannot believe your mic still does this, Davo. I mean, confused. I actually gave you credit in my mind that I wouldn't continue, but here it is.
Well, listen, once I got drafted as an alternate, like,
Just,
the new David went out the window.
By the way, David, you know why you got drafted as an alternate? Because your wife is not your. No, it's not because of TBI. Because your wife is not your PR agent. If she represented you, you'd be first round.
By the way, I'm so in agreement there.
She's so awesome, Davo.
I agree.
You need her to be your agent. You need her to be your agent.
I just want to know, does she have Davo #1 all over your room?
No.
No, but she supports him very much. And
I
she
love
represents your family very well.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Jordan, I want to bring something up. Listen, this is a rule. You already made the rule. You're the commissioner. Now, this is just for TBI purposes, but
no one else will know.
Nobody watches.
Why on earth do you have to have this rule that you play 1 game? If you're a team, let's say it's a 4th league week and you have not played PJs, and you're Bob, you haven't played PJs yet.
Mm-hmm.
And PJs doesn't match up well against the opposing team. And you're Prey and you're trying, you need that win because you want to get the first seed in the playoffs. Why on earth you got to play a guy like PJs when you have a guy on the bench who is more better fit to play that game?
Well, it was a knee jerk, but I think a necessary knee jerk reaction following the scene at the draft, which I couldn't stomach, which was seeing
you could also find a way. Like, you play each team twice. So like after you play each team 1 time, you can figure out who slots in where. You can figure it out. It's never going to be like, I'm playing this guy against 1 team, so that's why we lost, or that's why. Come on.
He's saying it's not the most competitive way to make decisions, and if leagues is truly not Jewball and it is this competitive high level experience, then you're not being true to it. But I'm telling you, we're not being true to it, and I think that's okay.
But it's also crazy to think that all your top 8 guys are going to show up every week. Like, that's just like, you don't have 100% attendance anyway.
Right.
So
yeah,
like,
it's true, PJ. It'll probably happen naturally anyway.
Right. Like, so we're not forcing anyone. Like, who made all 6 games last year? No one.
Yeah, but you know what? I guess it's also an anxiety thing, just so players can say, you know what? Even when the season starts, there are a lot of unknowns about when I'll play, but I know I'll play 1.
Yeah. Hopefully more than.
Yeah, but anyway, listen, there are only 6 games.
Right.
It's whatever. I'm not a math guy. What is that? 1/6?
My question is this.
What?
My question is this. We had a big.
What is that? 15%?
My question
17?
is this: last year we had a big problem in the playoffs.
Dave was
particularly
talking,
the,
right?
the first round, and we didn't have enough men on the field, right? So how do we remedy that playoff that we have enough players to play if one or two guys get hurt, one or four guys get hurt? Playoffs, can you bring everybody who's eligible? Can you only bring your 8 guys? What's the clarification on that?
Okay, so I didn't hear everything, but it's like sports talk radio when you try to put the question together
Sure.
when it's like he's in the static.
Jordan wants to
I-
know if that 8 guys per game applies to playoffs or is it just
Right.
regular
Or-
season?
or
That's what he
basically-
wants to know.
Like
I'll say-
based off Red Sunday, where we needed more players, guys had to leave, guys got
Forget
knocked
about
out.
red time. Just like, is it the same for playoffs or not? Like, what's that? Like,
So I would say playoffs, we will definitely bring it up to the captains, and we'll definitely, but like Logan said, after 6 games, you're going to know so much more about your team. You're going to unfortunately lose a couple of guys along the way. We're going to be banged up by the end of the season.
yeah,
And
we-
you'll
like,
be lucky if you have 9 eligible players left on your team, you know? Most teams did not at the end of last season.
Right. So can you bring those 9 guys? Well,
So
like you said,
I
we'll
would
talk
say
about it.
probably by the end of the season, I believe there will be enough banged up players that you
that'll
will
make
probably
sense to
bring
carry a bunch.
you'll probably bring your entire team down and hope together you could scotch tape an hour and a half
Right.
game together. That's my guess, but no, we don't even need to think about that now.
All right, let's get away from leagues. Leagues are fun. They're exciting. They're great. I think I'm excited for it. Listen, I think you have probably the most talented league teams that we've ever had before.
We
So
say that every year, but that's only because we accept really good rookies.
yeah, I mean, there's
Rookies have been phenomenal.
there's a ton of talent out there. We're probably the most talented, rosters we've had in a long time. I mean, just look at Top Guns. That's a talented ton of talent as well. I mean, your own trash, but the rest of his team is really talented. And Dax, Dax might be the best quarterback of the 4. So who knows, about talent. So here we are. Let's just talk about Jewball season. Get off leagues. What are you seeing? What are you hoping for? Share your
Me?
thoughts. Yeah.
I mean, we need to get into a rhythm. It doesn't have a flavor yet. We had 2 half-assed weeks, and then, 2 of them were ties, then a long break. So, I can't ask for much more than what we've been doing. Where you really get into this great rhythm, and you find a flow, and then the events are sort of complementing the games, and TBI's back, and the power rankings, and the recaps come back, and it just kind of comes together like it's supposed to. And I'm not Davo. I'm not looking for more than what we've been doing. I'm very satisfied, comfortable, happy with the product we've been putting out there, and whatever happens after that.
All right, boys. Any
It's a very political answer. Blame Davo.
Dave, be good.
What,
No.
Davo? Sorry, was that like mean?
I mean, whatever. You're just digging.
No,
into it.
because
I
you're
didn't
always
even do
trying to
anything
think
yet.
what's next. I don't think what's next. I think it's been great, and it seems to just kind of build itself, with good intentions. Good intentions are building Jewball.
Listen, I'm only looking forward to week 4 already. I mean, I just want to play football.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully you play this week. Well, you see, you're next man up. Logan's the one that should be worried.
All right, Jordan, get back to taking down that sucker. Thanks again,
boys.
for everything you do for Jewball. And
Thank you guys.
And we're looking forward to a great season. Everyone should be excited.
Yeah. We'll get into our rhythm. Need a few more weeks. All right,
All
boys.
right.
Love you,
Peace,
brother.
brother.
Peace.
All right. We didn't, we kind of gave him some softball questions there. We wanted to keep it easy. Some fun stuff, just getting the commish on. Any impressions from what anything Jordan said, or basically stuff we already knew? What do you guys think?
NJ, we trust.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna disagree. Definitely not gonna be on the fence here anymore. I feel like, and not to throw Jay under the bus here, but feel like he was kind of copping out for the captains, like a real commissioner would do. Um, I know my personal views is that you should be able to bring anyone who you want for any game. We're all adults here, and if you don't want to play, like, listen, if you don't want to show up to play one set, tell your captain, listen, if you want to put me in for X amount, I'll come. Otherwise, I have better things to do. We had problems last year where guys don't want to sit because it's like 3 degrees outside. I don't blame anybody for that, but you should be able to bring whoever you want. You drafted your team. These are guys that you want to play with. These are guys that you want to play for you. So you should be able to mix and match whoever you want. Listen, if I want to have Logan come in for just to play defense for me, or if I want to have bring in Bosch and Burt, just taking top of, for example, Bosch and Burt to be a third line, 2 linemen, and put Munch at tight end. There's all the things that you could do, but now that now you're limited, and I think that is a terrible rule. You want to be inclusive, but you don't want it to be Jewball, but you do. I feel that you should be able to just go for it. And listen, like I said, we're all adults. If you can't manage it, don't play.
Well, Davo, it's a good point you bring up. Let's talk to one of the captains. One of the captains is joining us now. Your former captain, the wing. I guess you could say the broken winged.
Winged? Did you say winged?
Yeah. Well, I guess the broken wing. A bop.
Winged?
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, are you talking about Shalom? That guy?
I'm talking about Prey.
I don't know that guy anymore. That to me.
Former
What's up,
MVP.
guys?
Former MVP.
Not my QB.
Prey, there's nothing wrong with you except we don't see you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I'm doing it
What is wrong with you and Jordan?
Yes.
Seriously, our first guest of the season both can't
I
get this tech
understand.
stuff figured out.
Is it a lawyer thing?
It could be.
I mean, you guys
all day. We should be able to figure this out.
I was about to say, you've been zooming for 4 years now. Figure it out
Yeah,
already.
exactly.
I was gonna make a joke, but I can't keep my camera on either. So
I feel like Prey is too young to be bad at technology.
It's a fair point.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Doesn't have to. Oh, privacy. There we go. Okay.
all
1
right.
second.
All right. Anyways, it's good to have on my captain. Listen, I'm only a very few people to say they've had the same captain for 3 years in a row. I've been extremely lucky to be with Prey, Prime as well. The two of us getting to play with Prey now for 3 years in a row. I think the only other quarterback receiver connection would be Fight. No, Fight doesn't have anybody. No.
No.
That's it, right? I think
He had Mighty the first year, didn't he? But
Mighty the first year,
not last year. So
No,
I
that's-
don't
yeah,
think
I
anyone
mean,
else.
No, your own team obviously changed after year one.
Oh yeah.
And
There
here
we go.
are. Let's start off with it. How are you feeling? Obviously, you had a devastating injury.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
It's been pretty rough couple of weeks right now. Going on now a little over 2 weeks with let me see if I can flip my camera. Kind of sucks. But
I'm so
Yeah.
glad your chuck was your knee.
exactly. But hopefully, I mean, whatever. Had my post-op appointment today. Hopefully, it's just sort of the next stage of, having to go through all of this. Seems like maybe I'll be back league week 3. That's the tentative schedule right now. But yeah, I mean, sucks for now, but hopefully, better times ahead.
All right, give us some breaking news. Who is going to fill in for you this Sunday to lead Bop?
Yeah, so we have some breaking news. We got a very special guest quarterback, PJ's favorite quarterback, other than me. I'm gonna say, we got Gronk. Got Gronk filling in for me.
Big news.
Yeah, big news, big breaking news. I think just for starters, the familiarity that he has with the guys on our team, especially because half of them played with the cronies last year, and the other half is
I think
actual
it's the,
cronies.
I think it's the league champion cronies, right? They like to be
There you
referred
go.
to as the league champion.
and the other half is the league champion Bop of year 1. So we're between the two, we're settled.
and
familiarity-
MK.
There are a lot of
And
rings on
And
that.
MK.
A lot of rings.
Exactly. Yeah, but the familiarity that he has with the guys, and it's going to be a seamless transition. I think also just play style. I'm not going to say that me and Gronk play similarly, but we play most similarly of the other quarterbacks.
Especially on
And, and no one has to, you don't have to worry about memorizing his playbook. It's really easy. It's
Exactly.
They play.
It's easy for me to call plays from the sideline this week. Also,
So
that's exciting. That's great.
So now that you're done cheating and drafting a team for Gronk, where you're gonna come back week 3 to play receiver for him.
Oh yeah, but that's what it is. Gronk didn't want to pick fourth this year, so he decided not to be in it. And
Right,
then he broke your knee on purpose.
Yep.
Kind of.
Just so he could get a second place picking
He
team.
pulled a Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan, a la
Once
1994.
Once again, he outgronks all of us.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much outsmarted everybody right here. But no, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting because, sorry, I have the game in the background. The Astros just hit another home run. But
Yeah.
the game's over. But
You guys more important. Come on.
yeah, exactly.
And the Knicks are down 3 in overtime with 9 seconds left.
Oh, lovely.
Nobody cares
yeah,
about this stuff. They just want TBI. Let's go, guys. Come on.
That's what TBI, exactly. No, it worked out. It worked out really well. Like, I mean, the fact that, he's ready to play this week and he's good to go and everything like that. And hopefully, again, obviously League Week 2 is still in a month, so maybe he'll be able to play that game as well. And if I'm not able to go League Week 3, that's another month after that. So because the league weeks are so spread out and everything like that, it really does work out that even if someone gets injured, even if someone can't make a couple of games, especially with alternates and everything like that now, there's definitely guys to step up and fill in.
I want to ask a question. I know it's been a while since the draft. What was your mindset going into the draft and kind of like, did your strategy, like the players you were targeting, did you get everybody you wanted? Did things go the way you thought it would go? Or do you feel like there were some, shocks along the way? You felt like, hey, I had to shift and make different adjustments to my team based on how everyone else was drafting.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got, I would say, 90% of the guys who I was targeting in the draft. I mean, there's the incredible thing about Jewball right now is the amount of talent that there is insane. I mean, there are guys who went in the 7th round, who could have gone in the 4th round. There's guys who went in the 8th round, that could have gone in the 3rd round. Like it really is crazy. But I would say that for like 90% of my draft, I got the guys that I wanted. Obviously, the big wild card in the draft was, I mean, it's not a secret, was Munch. So that was the big wild card. That definitely threw some things off, I'd say, when Fight took him in the 4th round. Chances are I probably would have taken him in the 4th round if I didn't. But that was really like the only.
Wait a second. I got to cut you off there. Yeah. Meaning, had Fight not taken Munch in the 4th round, you were going to?
I probably would have taken that. That was the round that I sort of had targeted for. If Munch is still around, and I could convince him to play 3 games and come back for the playoffs, the 4th round was worth it. So I think Fight did a fantastic job on that. Yeah, you got to give him credit.
I mean, you give him credit for the entire draft. He got an 8.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, an A+ and everything. Yeah. I mean, Davo's still pretty upset you didn't draft him. Any reason why?
Can't give away all this.
Wait, that technology losing your picture right now. Sorry.
I'm joking. Don't answer.
No,
Don't answer.
I can give a real answer. Davo knows that because I spoke to him already after the draft. There was, put it this way, when I saw Davo and Steve-O both left on the board in I guess it was the 7th round. Yeah, must have been the 7th round. I thought I was going to get both of them, to be totally honest. I picked Steve-O 1 and then Davo the 2nd, or I could have gone the other way. And I thought I was going to get both of them. And Fight sort of surprised me by taking Davo then with the next pick.
I mean, if you didn't take Steve-O there, someone else would have.
Correct. Yeah, that's probably true. Which is, yeah, definitely.
At the same time, I was shocked, and I'm still going to say it. I was shocked that Davo fell as far as he did, because Davo is that player that you want, who's got so much talent, but he's also that, like, he's the rah-rah guy. He's going to get everyone into it. He's not going to get down when the team is losing. You're down by 5. He's not giving up. He's like, come on, guys, we can still get into it. We can still win this.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be down by 5.
I mean, I don't want to praise Davo too much, but yeah, I mean, Davo was a fantastic teammate last year, fantastic player to have on the team. I mean, he ran, side to side, even in the 18th round of overtime in the playoff game, the Red Sunday. And I would have loved to have Davo again on the team, 100%.
Okay.
Just would have loved to have MK more, but it's okay. Whatever. I'm not bitter.
By the way, Davo's not upset I didn't draft him. He's just upset I did draft MK.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the only catch with that.
Basically. I mean, you just took a slower, not as talented version of me, but it's okay.
All
No
right.
comment.
Well,
All right.
no
All right. All
comment.
right.
No comment, Pat.
All right. Pray, listen.
I would say he has a better beard, but he doesn't even have a beard right now.
No, he doesn't.
when
It's
he's
true. He
drafted,
doesn't.
so
I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I don't know. It could be the beard's back by this point, but
probably.
probably.
All right. Pray. Obviously, everyone in the Jewball community wishes you a refuah shlema. Feel better. Feel good.
Thank you.
We appreciate the few minutes you came on, and looking forward to good things. We got a big game this Sunday.
Huge.
For those who don't know, it's Bop versus Top Guns and Roll Tide versus Lionhearts. It's going to be a huge Sunday this week, and Pray will be Coach Pray this Sunday.
Coach Pray. A new role for me, but see how it works.
All right, Pray. Feel good.
All right, guys.
Feel up,
Get
brother.
better. Thanks for joining us.
Feel better, Shalom.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, boys, good way to segue into it. Predictions for this Sunday. Logan, hit us up. Let's start with Bop versus Top Guns. Your team, the Top Guns, versus my team, Bop. Start us off. What's your prediction for the Sunday?
See, a win for the Top Guns, which is really not a big surprise. Again, I think they come in as heavy favorites. Fight's got to kind of prove himself this year, but he's got the team to do it with. I see a nice win for the Top Guns. You want to go score?
Yeah, give us a score, Logan. Come on.
Call it 4-2. Nice 4-2. It's a nice victory.
All right, Davo, prediction.
Well, now here's what I'm going to yell at. I actually think that that Bop has a better chance with Gronk as their QB this week than if Prey would be healthy. Just because I think it's going to take Prey a little bit of time to figure out how his team is going to act, whereas Gronk is just going to use the guys, the same play, go, you do this, you do that, keep it simple. I think it's a 5-4, 4-3 kind of game, Top Gun on top.
A lot of scoring, but yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to go here. Gronk is such the unknown. He shows up a few weeks ago.
He threw 5 touchdowns when he was the first game of the season. He's not an unknown. He's great.
you took the words from my mouth. I was about to say he tossed 5 touchdowns a few weeks ago. I'm saying he's the unknown just because this is not his official team, but I actually think that's what makes him better. Is the fact that he doesn't need familiarity with anybody. He just will throw the ball to the open guy. Top Guns, the question is, I don't know if they'll leave a lot of open guys because they're a stacked team.
A lot of good players on that team.
It's ridiculous.
But Solo versus Munch is going to be here's the thing. Solo versus Munch and Cut.
It'll be fun.
Who's the second lineman with Munch?
Dobbs.
You got Dobbs. You got Salem.
So again, who's going to be consistently on the offensive line? Is it going to be Dobbs or Salem? If they can,
it could be Burt also. I don't know. We don't know.
Again, if they can block,
could be Bosch. You could have Munch and Bosch.
If they can block the second guy, because Solo versus Munch, I think are going to cancel each other out. That's my personal opinion. For every time Solo gets past Munch, Munch will stop Solo from moving a yard. They'll basically stop each other. If you can stop Cut, if the other guy can stop Cut, Dobbs or Salem or Bosch, or Burt, whoever that second guy is, if Fight has all the time in the world, it's a high scoring affair. On the other side, I think Gronk is the one quarterback outside of Prey who really doesn't need a great offensive line. So Gronk is so good at avoiding getting sacked and flag grab that I think Gronk will dance around the pocket till he finds an open guy. I'm looking at a good 5-4 game. I'm going to go on the fence here and say could go either team. I don't have a for sure, it's going to be this team versus that team because I think it's the first week. We haven't seen these guys together. I think we all dream of the idea of Munch and of a mighty Munch, Singer, and Jack all together on the same team. lining up together. I think it's an all-star team. It's a great team. You don't know if there's familiarity with each other. Who's going to play safety? The Singer play the middle, the Singer play safety. Where do you put Mighty? I think there's a lot of question marks. I think Mighty was uncomfortable playing corner last year. And Jack is more,
those are champagne problems.
Again, agreed. But again, it's a defense that has not played together yet. And on offense, the pressure is so much more on Fight to perform than it is on Gronk, because
that I agree with. 100% agree with that.
My biggest thing is Fight, and I hope for Fight, because I like Fight. My hope for Fight is that he is the right quarterback for this team, and you don't have any issues. And again, it's a high scoring affair. I think a high scoring affair is good for everybody. I think a defensive grinder, while I think I'm a big fan of defense in the NFL, I think in Jewball, the defensive grinders are more frustrating than they are fun. So again, you hope for a good high scoring affair, 5-4 either way, and you think you take the push there. All right, let's move into the other game. Roll Tide versus Lionhearts. Let's jump into it. Davo, give me your prediction.
So I'm actually going to go with Roll Tide, I think. I think the unknown factor leans in their favor a little bit, because you look at your own team, they're a little shaky. They're not big in one area. They're not too small in one area. They're balanced, but I don't think they necessarily excel in one area. And I think that Dax is just gonna do little easy dink and dunk plays that are just gonna work, and he's gonna continue to do them, and he's gonna chip away. I think it's like a 3-2 victory. Roll Tide. I think Yaron throws not such a great game. And that's my prediction, but I don't predict many wins from them throughout the season. But I give them one game in the beginning at least.
All right, Logan, jump in. Who do you think? What do you got?
I think he's crazy.
We know I'm crazy.
I think you're crazy. Look, I think we're going to see a really nice connection between Dax and Scooter. I think they're going to connect twice. Probably maybe 1 or 2 times for touchdowns. You'll see a real nice connection there. He's going to be the best receiver on the field. And I don't know that Yaron is anyone who can really match up with him on defense, but Yaron's going to throw like 5 touchdowns on these guys. It's going to be like a 5-2 Lionhearts victory. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But yeah, Yaron's a great quarterback, and he's got great players. DK is a beast out there. Like, I'm just like, he's going to have time to throw the ball. He's going to have protection. They're going to have a decent enough defense. I think it's going to be 5-2 Lionhearts.
You see, but you keep saying decent enough. Like, they're going to have a decent enough defense. I don't think so. And I think Yaron Yaron's been in his head lately. He's been throwing extra picks. He's been not making good plays, no smart reads. I think he needs to step out of it. And I hope he does, because Jewball's better when Yaron's good.
Here, listen,
it's not fun to call trash when they're actually trash.
I'm looking at the receivers that Yaron has. Every Zada, Sting, and then Storm.
Like I'm telling you, it's a good team.
And listen, for Roll Tide, Zin might be the best player on the field. Might be. But again, the sample size of Zin, again, outside of Jewball, Zin has a great legacy going in. But in Jewball, he's only got preseason and one league and one regular season game for us to be like, hey, listen, we're all going to crown him the MVP of the season.
You also have to remember, like, Lionheart's like, let's say you say Zin is better than Every. Let's say that's your argument. Is it really that much worse?
No.
You're not talking about like a 1 to a 4. You're talking like a 1A to a 1B. Like, so you're splitting hairs there. And Yaron's got a great team. I don't know. I see the Lions have a really good team. Not that Roll Tide doesn't, but I just think Yaron's I think to say the reason they're going to lose because Yaron is crazy. I think Yaron throws a real good game. I think he starts the season strong. They've got it, so I see a big win for Lionhearts.
I listen. My personal opinion. I'm with Logan here. I don't know about a big win, but I definitely will go with the Lionhearts here. I just think the offensive power of Ivry, Zada, Sting, and Storm are hard to guard. Listen, Ernie's coming off injury. Stats is coming off injury. Morty's really good. Zin is fantastic. Waldo's really good. They have more on the bench as well.
They have stacked teams, but don't get me wrong. Both you got stacked teams. I just
But-
think
but-
I see Lionheart
but I-
going away with this one.
I think
More experience.
I think the firepower on your own team is greater. Now, also the thing that we haven't talked about, and I don't want to spend too much time right now getting into, but we could kind of do that next episode. But Dax is still unfamiliar with Jewball, and I know he's got a couple games under his belt, but he's still not familiar with Jewball. He's never had to go against a team like the team he's going to go against. So when you have that, the question is, you might be great Tuesday nights, but how do you perform in the 7-on-7 in Jewball? We have to see that first. And then, by the way, that's not a knock on the guy if he doesn't play as well on the first game of the season. Look at Matt Ryan for the Colts. Looked terrible the first couple of weeks, and now he's throwing 300 yards every game. So it happens that way. Guys, they take time, takes repetition, takes reps. You get it, and then you're good. You go from there. But we'll see. I got to go Lionhearts here. I hate to give Yaron a win, but I think Yaron does pull out a win this Sunday. And again, I think we're moving into a generation of Jewball, which is really exciting and really great. All right, final words, boys. Give me your final words for the episode.
Davo.
I was gonna let you go first because I was gonna say 3 balls in. I mean,
No,
3 balls out.
Dave, no. Give
That's fine. All right, that's fine. Look,
now- but
excited.
now
Look,
it's
we're
all
all
messed
excited.
up.
I'm excited for a great season. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Davo, I know that I think you may be worried about your time on the field, but I can guarantee one thing: or anything this season, I guarantee Davo will make an impact for his team in the playoffs. That's a guarantee I have right now. In the playoffs, he will be making an impact for our team. So excited to play alongside you, brother, and it's gonna be a fun time.
Listen, everyone needs to get healthy. Everyone needs to stay healthy. Let's have a great Jewball season. Let's have a great season of TBI. We hope to have a lot of guests. We hope to do a lot of great things on TBI this season. And just remember, what are we?
We are 3 balls in, but I didn't get to give my final words.
Okay, PJ, any final words? Man, I'm trying
All
to say.
right. We are definitely not editing this part out. This has to stay in the episode.
Oh, finally, the Yankees scored a run.
All right, listen. I just want to know. Davo filmed an episode of Davo's Ball in TBI. I want to know, when do we ever get to see that?
I don't think anyone wants to see David's balls in. But maybe
All
one
right.
day
All right.
we said
All right, boys.
All right,
that was
Davo.
worth it.
All right, Davo. All right, Davo, what are we? What are we,
3
boys?
balls in.
And we are now 3 balls out. Peace out, everybody. Have a great week this week. Take care.
We're 3 balls in, then we 3 balls out. We all up on your screens like it's prime time's route. Mighty gets a scoring. Oh, and PJ start to scout. Your Ron's really trash. What do you think he's damn foul?